Hi everybody, this is Lorenzo from Surfing Industries. Today I would like to answer a question that you very often ask: what are the differences between the SurfyBear Metal and the SurfyBear Compact? Now, as you know, the SurfyBear Metal was introduced about 1.5 years ago as a response, as an alternative to our regular SurfyBear, which now is called the Classic, which is an exact replica solid state of the circuitry of the Fender 6G15 outboard tank. And that unit is not true bypass, the SurfyBear Classic, the one with the Tolix, and it still affects your sound. And some of you like to turn off the reverb once in a while, especially if you don't play surf music and if you have other effects in your effect chain on your pedal board. So we came out with a SurfyBear Metal, which is this one. This still includes a 45 centimeters long reverb pan, Aquatronics. You can change that freely if you want. You will not void the warranty changing the pan inside. You can remove the feet at the back, and you will have a flat surface to mount on your pedal board. The controls that you have in front are still tone, dual, mix, on-off switch, a bit more fancy with a LED light inside, and of course the in and out boot jack, and external foot switch possibility. But I would like to remind you that this unit is not compatible with the Surfy Drip switch. Only the SurfyBear Classic 2.0 is compatible with the Surfy Drip switch. So this one, as is a true bypass unit, it requires a volume boost. The volume, of course, like most of the true bypass pedals, is necessary to balance the volume, the signal level, once the effect is engaged or disengaged. Depending on the impedance of the signal that gets into here, you might experience some differences in volume. Some say, when I turn on the reverb, I have a drop down in the volume. There are many reasons why that can happen, but this is why we've actually added a clean boost. Now, this is the SurfyBear Metal. This is still in production. It's about 300 euros in Europe, $350 in the US. And last January at NAMM, we've introduced the smaller version of this, which is something that also has been requested for quite some time. And for those of you who actually, as I was saying, turn off the reverb once in a while, the smaller version can be more convenient. Although remember that you have a Type 4 45 centimeters long reverb pan inside here, while in the small one that I'm going to show you now, you have a Type 8, which is a short one. A Type 8 reverb pan is shorter, is generally 3 springs. What we incorporate in here is still an Aquatronics tank, exact same specification of the other one, but in shorter format. It has 3 springs. Now, the controls of the SurfyBear Compact, that I say again has come out and been introduced at NAMM 2020, it involves the same control, mix, tone, and dual, with a few add-ons. Still the volume has the same functionality because the unit is true bypass, so the volume is to balance the sound, the signal level when you turn the effect on and off. You have 2 mixer controls, because you can use 2 different mixer settings, that, for example, one with little less reverb, one with more reverb, still using the same tone and dual controls. And the 2 mixers, you can switch them with this foot switch, all right? And also this unit introduced, very important, the decay control. Now, the reason why we've introduced the decay control in this is very simple. When we thought about doing a small pedal, a small version, our main concern was to keep exact same sound as the big brother, so the SurfyBear Classic and the SurfyBear Metal. If this would not have been possible, we would have never thought about building this. This has to be clear. Surfing Industries is based on a very specific sound, so we would not do it if we would have to find compromises. There are no compromises in the sound, never. So to make this more workable, because if we would use this tank, for example, a short Type 8 pan, in our bigger brother, we would obtain a longer reverb due to the 3 springs, although the reverb pan is a bit shorter. The decay control basically allows us to adjust the length of the reverb tail, going from very long to very short. Technically, this thing works as a sort of gate control that basically blocks the signal in its whole length, and make the tail a bit shorter. You will not believe how efficient this thing is, especially because, well, if you have a band with 2 guitars, for example, one lead and one rhythm, the lead might have a longer reverb, but the rhythm could have a shorter one. This works very well in the mix of the band, so this makes it extremely efficient and dynamic, both in live situation and of course in recording too. So these are the differences between the SurfyBear Compact and the SurfyBear Metal. Alright, so if you're interested in a true bypass unit, you can choose both options. Now, will I hear the difference between the 2 units in terms of sound? Yes, you will. The reason, of course, is the length of the pan. Remember that these are analog units, and whatever you do, like everything, that when you change the pan inside, the sound changes because the pans are all different one from the other. So these as a fuller, sort of a fuller reverb. These, of course, in terms of tail is about the same, probably even more, but you would feel that this unit has a fuller sound. Now, do you really have to care about that? It depends. In a live situation, I can tell you that you will not hear much difference. Probably if you play the guitar alone in a room, in a studio with your amplifier, you will notice the differences. In a live situation, probably you will not. Actually, in many cases, in most cases, if you travel a lot, this is probably a better choice because it gives you the chance to have a bit more dynamic sound and more options to control the length of the reverb. You have 2 mixers, especially if you don't play surf music. Not all the time you might want a lot of reverb. You might actually have it a bit shorter, a bit more control. It all depends on the music that you're playing. It all depends on the usage, but you will hear a little tiny difference between the 2, but probably unnoticeable in a live situation. I hope this answers most of the question. Some of you ask what is better, if I get a classic or if I get the metal. It also depends on all you're doing. If you're playing surf music, like our brand is based on surf music, and if you play surf music, you will most likely keep the reverb always on. If you keep it always on, I would recommend you to buy the classic unit, because the classic has that particular heavy brown face sound that you get in a vintage Fender 6 G15 unit. It's a really full sound. The ones with the true bypass, due to the true bypass circuitry, they make the sound a little tiny bit brighter. Again, in a live situation, not necessarily, probably you will not notice this. So it all depends on what you do. This installs very easily on your pedal board. We couldn't make it any smaller because they don't make smaller pan than these that actually are usable. So it all depends on what you're doing. But again, the differences between the SurfyBear Metal and the SurfyBear Compact are: SurfyBear Compact has 2 mixer controls, switchable, the decay control. Alright? The Metal does not have this all, has an external full switch possibility, not compatible with the Surfy drip switch, and a longer pan. They cost the same, 300 euros in Europe and rest of the world, plus shipping of course, 350 in US dollars. So check our website or our dealers, surfyindustries.com, and if you have the chance to go to one of our dealers and try the units with your own guitar, with your own equipment, is always the best thing to do. Thank you very much. surfyindustries.com. See you next time.